That fiery scene on a runway in Las Vegas. British Airways jet, more than 170 people on board, burst into flames on the tarmac. You see the passengers streaming off the plane right there, and the black smoke rising. ABC's Matt Gutman on the scene in Las Vegas. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, George. Investigators already here on the scene, likely going to investigate why the fire seemed to spread from the engine to the fuselage. Now, earlier this morning, we got up to see that plane up close. You can still see the smoke smudging the fuselage. Now, BA calling this a technical issue overnight, but the pilot, credited with saving some 170 lives, called it something different, a catastrophic failure.
Speedbird 2276 Heavy, we are evacuating on the runway. We have a fire, I repeat, we are evacuating.
This morning, the scramble to explain why this jetliner turned into a fireball.
Mayday, Speedbird 2276, request fire services.
Speedbird 2276 Heavy, fire services are on the way.
British Airways Flight 2276 bound for London, bursting into flames on the runway in Las Vegas. You can see them here scrambling to safety.
What we had here was what we call an uncontained explosion of a jet engine on takeoff roll, and that means it came apart catastrophically, creating fire and the necessity for the flight crew to stop the airplane on the runway and get everybody off the airplane.
157 passengers and 13 crew aboard the 777, starting its takeoff with a belly full of fuel. More than a dozen were injured, but all of them were in mortal danger. Experts tell ABC News a mechanical failure could have caused the engine to come apart, spitting out fire and pieces of hot metal, which in turn could have sparked a separate fire in the cargo hold. Quick thinking crew helped the passengers flop down the emergency slides to the tarmac.
We had to jump down and you could see the flames and the smoke, and that's when it really sort of hit me anyway, that it was a pretty scary thing.
Survival instinct kicking in for this mother escaping with her young daughter.
It was so instant, literally it was fright or flight, and I just jumped. I can't even say I felt anything, because that's how fast it happened. Fire crews screamed to the scene, the plane swallowed in smoke, as bystanders, even passengers on other planes, watching in horror. That billowing column of black, easily visible from offices a mile away. The fire paralyzing the airport. Now, the airport has reopened the runway. You can probably hear the plane above me, and BA is saying it's going to try to get those passengers back home as quickly as possible. And while investigators begin their work, what is clear is, had that plane taken off on fire, this would have been a very different story. Robin.
You're right about that, Matt. Thank you. ABC News aviation consultant Colonel Stephen Gagnier joins us from Washington this morning. And so give us more details on what happened here, Steve.
Good morning, Robin. It's very interesting because what happened is, early in this takeoff roll, as the airplane was running down the runway, only going about 90 miles an hour, we say it was an uncontained engine failure. What that means is the engine really just exploded, and it sent hot metal into the fuselage and started a fire in the fuselage itself. So the fire you see in those pictures is really the airplane itself, not the engine that's on fire. And after they put the fire out, you could see how clearly that fire came to almost penetrating into the cabin, which meant this could have been a very serious accident.
Oh, absolutely, as Matt was saying as well. And you said they put the fire out quickly. They were on the scene like that, and the crew and passengers did a great job of getting off that plane so quickly.
They did. Apparently what happened is they were right on the middle of the runway, so the crews were right there, the rescue crews were right there to put the fire out. But when the cabin crew opened the door, they saw the smoke on the left side of the airplane, and so they got everybody out the right side, closed that door back up to keep the smoke out of the cabin. Crew did a great job in this instance, but now it's going to be up to the NTSB to figure out why did this engine actually blow up.
And we want answers to that. We all do. All right, Steve, thank you so much.